1. Many eyes are watching. A while back, I moved into a new house in a quiet little town, desperate to escape the city and a disturbing stalker incident. I thought this peaceful countryside would finally give me the peace of mind I craved. The house was a great find, though it did have a dark past. A serial killer had lived there before, which explained its low price. But the agent and my neighbor, Micah, assured me it was nothing to worry about, as several happy owners had lived there since. At first, everything seemed perfect. The town was friendly, and my new house was warm and inviting. I received kind gestures like freshly baked pastries and dinner invites from the neighbors, emphasizing that community get-togethers were key to loving this place. But soon, things took a disturbing turn. The feeling of being watched returned, and it was even worse this time. Sleep became elusive, and I felt like someone's eyes were on me constantly. I ended up staying at Micah's place for a few nights to escape the eerie sensation. During my stay at Micah's, I learned about Cristiano, the former serial killer who had lived in my house. The stories about him were terrifying. He suffered from extreme narcissism and could only sleep if he felt like someone was watching him. He was caught when it was revealed that he had murdered a young girl just so her corpse could stare at him. The legend gave me the creeps, and when I returned home, the eerie sensation intensified. It felt like there were countless pairs of eyes watching me from every angle. And then came the day when I couldn't bear it any longer. While cooking breakfast, the feeling of being watched overwhelmed me. In fear, I instinctively threw a kitchen knife, which ended up stuck in the wall. To my horror, when I pulled it out, I found a pair of eyes preserved in formaldehyde. I called the police, and they've been investigating my house ever since. They've found a chilling collection of 142 pairs of eyes in small glass jars, and the most horrifying part is that every single one was staring directly at me. I can't shake the bone-chilling feeling that someone or something is still watching me, even after all this. I'm sharing this story as a warning, and also to cope with the terror that has consumed me. 2. Creepy hotel floor. This happened around 5 years ago. I was working in a pretty decent hotel as a bartender, and part of our job description was to deliver room service to people or complimentary drinks/food that the reception asked us to deliver. One night I got an order to the 4th floor through the reception. Now it is important that it was the 4th floor because that was the only floor in the hotel that had no windows to the outside in the end of the hallways, or anywhere for that matter. It was also the cheapest floor and it was not renovated in years to a point that there were boot marks on the walls/ceiling, and patches of paint hanging from the ceiling as well. Other floors were well maintained. I don't know why that was the case. Anyway, on the end of each hallway instead of a window was a huge mirror almost the size of the entire hallway, which gave an illusion of an infinite corridor with the mirrors being on both sides of the hall. Halfway through the hallway in both directions were fire doors that were held by electromagnets from what I can tell. So there I go up to the 4th and to the end of the hallway where the room I needed to go to was. As I approached the room, I could hear people talking faintly because the door was open and light was spilling into the hallway. As I got closer the talking stopped and now I could only hear the static noise of a TV. I knocked on the open door and said room service, but no one responded. I slowly walked into the room knocking again, but as I got inside I realized the room was empty. At this point I am creeped out by the empty room, static TV, and 4th floor in general. I quickly put the drinks on the table and left. As I was approaching the fire doors, the lights on the floor went out and the doors slammed shut on me. Just as I was about to go through them, the lights went out only in the hall because I could still see the light from the room and hear the TV static, which was getting louder and louder coming from all around. I felt adrenaline rush through my body as I quickly ran down the stairs. I didn't stop at the reception and I ran straight out of the hotel. The 4th floor always creeped me out, but since that time I found ways not to go up there at night any longer. The floor itself got renovated about a year later and it became way less creepy, but I still had a weird feeling when I get up there.